I'm watching it right now, and it exploded.
So
mid-flight. That's
This was this morning?
yes.
Yeah, he's watching it take off and blow up.
It blew up right away after it took off?
Yeah.
Up
No
in the air.
way.
Yeah, it took
Yeah.
off.
Does it look real?
The tallest and most powerful rocket ever built, launching the liftoff of SpaceX Starship.
It actually looks fake, like the shape.
It does, eh?
Like it's off Dr. Evil created.
Really? Where is this located? In the U.S.?
Texas.
Texas?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. But there's no people on the...
No, I don't think there's any people on any
That's
of the
nuts.
ships. I think he launches them all autonomously.
And this is like,
Yeah, but it's still sad. You know,
if,
it's a
it's
fail
even, if it's even true.
because the whole goal of this is one step closer to Mars.
I'm 50% that's CGI.
Steven Spielberg is standing
Exactly.
right there.
No, pretty easy to...
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't... How does it just blow up? You got to know what you're doing.
Who's going to want to go to Mars?
Mars.
that's the whole idea. When
They
this-
can't even get to the moon. How are they going to get to Mars?
Yeah. Did they really even get to
No,
that?
Did they?
never got to
That's
that.
a whole new episode on itself.
That's it.
You know, it's
That's all.
crazy.
Sean,
Bust out the green screen. Yes.
Yeah,
Shan
that's-
Hassan from the Hassan Group. Thank you for joining me today. I really
My pleasure to
appreciate
be
you
here.
being
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's awesome. I'm looking forward to chatting it up a bit here.
Awesome. Awesome.
Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and let everybody know who you are?
All right. So, give you guys a little bit of background on myself. You know what? I feel like I've been in the industry forever, real estate, but it's been 9 years, so not too long, but it's
Seems
been
like longer for sure.
it's been a sprint, right? Like I've hit the market, I hit the ground running.
Perfect timing.
I had a lot of
timing. Good
marketing.
timing.
No shit. I had a marketing background prior to getting into this,
Yep.
publications, whatnot, and then after that, I just launched real estate and fell in love with it. Fell in love with the people. Fell in love with the thrill of the business, and applied all my marketing knowledge to what I did, and with the people. And over the past 9 years, I've been able to put together a team of 10 agents as of right now.
Wow.
That operate under the Hassan Group, and we've sold $500 million in real estate up to now.
Wow.
And we've
That's
got
amazing.
some crazy stuff about to happen. I am with Remax Capital Diamond.
Yep.
And you know what? I couldn't ask for a better profession.
Yeah.
Like,
I hear
you know,
that.
some stuff just fits. This fit my life like a glove.
Right up your alley.
O.J. Simpson style. Like, it was perfect. Like this, I love
For
it.
sure.
I love it.
I
So-
knew you were going to crush it from when
No.
you started. When you first told me you were going to be a real estate agent.
You
I was like,
did.
this
You
is
did
the
mention
perfect-
it to me. You're like,
perfect,
this is
perfect.
right on track. You know, the funny thing is though, reality is I had a ton of people. I had one specific, and I think everything major I do, I always have that one person that says, "What are you thinking about? Are you crazy?
Really, of
Like
course.
they're
Of
gonna
course.
eat you alive." That was like when
You first started in real
yeah,
estate?
it was like
Yeah.
this person I looked up to, and I said,
Yeah.
"Listen, I just got my real estate license," and they're like, "And what are you gonna do with that?" And I said, "I'm excited." They're like, "Do you understand? They're gonna eat you alive," and I said, "It's not motivating." And I took that person's picture and I put it on my mental wall,
Yeah.
and that was exactly what I needed to hear.
Perfect.
Literally,
You need
like,
that.
That fuel.
It's all about proving everybody wrong,
100%.
right?
Let's
That's
go.
a huge part.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew you were going to be successful. Remember we were talking about earlier, Windsor Social?
Yes.
I was
yes.
writing for the Competitor magazine. You were a big competition back then. And you guys killed it.
It was.
You guys killed it. And I knew when you transitioned to real estate that you would do the same.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. It was always thinking outside the box.
Well, was that your transition? You went from Windsor Social to real estate? Was that the next?
We went from Windsor Social, and then we started realizing that we're doing all this work for so many different clients, and we decided, you know what? We're designing. Why don't we start printing? Why don't we start designing websites?
Forgot about
So the transition happened, and all of a sudden we launched Blue Apple.
That's right.
And it wasn't just
Oh, okay.
myself.
Yeah, yeah.
It's my brother Cash.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Kim. We launched this, and then at a certain point, we gravitate again. You grow a little
Yeah,
bit more, so
yeah.
you pivot and change. Take all your skills and kind of evolution. And so I went towards real estate.
Nice.
Patrick and Cash went towards hospitality.
Nice.
And, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
sweet.
sitting here.
So talk to me about that. So 9 years, obviously, you went through a huge boom, not just
100%.
in Windsor, but all of Canada and
Yeah.
in North America.
Yeah.
So obviously we've seen that slow down over the past 12 months and due to the rising interest rates. So tell me where we're at today, especially in the Windsor market, what you're seeing, what you've seen over the last 12 months, what's got you excited, what has you nervous. Give me a little bit of...
For sure.
insight.
Like, in order to understand now, we got to glance back, okay? So when I did start, it was 2013, at the end of 2013. Those are still the times where, for example, we would put a property on the market, I'd be carrying at any given time 15 to 20 listings at any given time. And properties would sit on the market for 3 months, 4 months. We would sell it in 30 days and we'd promote the heck out of it. Like, oh, look at, we sold it in 30 days. Then the market got hot and it just took off. So these agents were used to carrying, they were budgeting, they were doing all these things. Then all of a sudden the market got so hot that, and I got to say, like, even though we were making money, okay, good money, and things were selling fast, but it became a market where anybody could get their license, go to the table, and sell it. Like, it's gonna sell. You could give it to anybody, sell it. So I wasn't fully enjoying that market because all the skills that we put together and the marketing, like, they went to garbage.
Right.
So it was just like, put it for sale, it's gonna sell, go on to the next, go on to the next. But it's gone full circle now. So then all of a sudden, now we're here. There's two things. The market itself is one thing, but then also the realtors that come along with that too. The quality of realtors, because we have like 1,600.
It's been a huge influx
50
of real estate
realtors.
agents over the
Yeah.
last couple of years. for
Like,
sure.
mind you, Toronto's out of control. Like 70,000 realtors in Toronto. They actually beats out New York.
70, and how many do we have?
We've got 1,650. So we, like, when I started, I think we were fluttering at like the 900 mark.
Yeah, wow.
But we're sitting at
Wow,
six.
that's
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But you're gonna see a reset. So a reset is like, yes, a lot of the part-time realtors
Yeah.
that, you know,
Sure.
were in are gonna probably step out.
The cream's going to rise to the top.
Yeah, it always does, right? So, end of the day, today's market, let's get to that. Today's market's been interesting. The market went down. Interest rates, number one cause.
Sure.
Obviously. Everybody got scared. And it wasn't like gradually pushed, they just dropped the bomb on us.
A lot of people are still scared.
They're still scared, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So realistically, at this point, the lowest I think of the market so far on sales prices was like November, December.
So it's come up. since then.
It's come up now. So we're watching it rise.
But that's normal for this type of year, right? For the market to start
Correct.
rising?
But they did halt. So the past two announcements
Sure.
have been
Yeah,
we're
that's
holding
big.
interest rates. It's all about public perception,
Sure.
how comfortable people are
Yep.
in that instance. So now they're sitting at a point where, like, okay, they're holding.
They're a little
Great.
more relaxed now.
Yes. So now they're holding. Prices have gone up. Like, at this point right now, I believe, and I'm seeing it, that more houses, obviously, spring market always calls for more inventory. Houses are coming to market. But I'm also seeing a lot more positivity with buyers. Now there's like, we always run polls on social media, right? Like on
Sure.
our stories. Like, buy now, wait, or forget it, right? Or I don't care. It's like a 60-40 split where 60% is saying buy now, okay? I was doing videos 2 months ago, 3 months ago saying, listen, everybody wants to buy when it's low. This is the time, pull the trigger. Because next year is going to be up. So you want to beat it. But it's happening quicker than I anticipated.
Sure.
And there's
So it's happening now.
like, I'm watching it climb right now.
Yeah, okay.
Like, there's specific clients that I've actually sent articles to saying, listen, based on average sale price, based on all these aspects, 2 months ago when I told you to pull the trigger, your house is actually worth like $40,000 more today, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And who would have predicted that? So it's actually very interesting. We're on the climb.
What's that?
We're on the climb.
We're on the climb now. Again, I'm going to play devil's advocate. 'Cause
Do it. Let's
I
go.
come from a whole other spectrum of this because I'm more of the doom and gloom. Because I mean, obviously, inflation. We're seeing the highest levels in 40 years. People are strapped. You got credit card debt at all-time highs.
Yeah.
With the inflation, food prices, everything across the board is going up. I mean, I know the Canadian government admits to 6-7%, but I think in reality, I think we all know it's probably much higher than that. Probably.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, you tell me.
Well, what I heard yesterday is that, well, last month was 5.2,
Right.
I checked yesterday, and it's 4.3.
Keeps
And
coming
they're
down.
saying summertime is going to be 3%.
That's what they say. Again,
I know.
hard to. It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, but all that's really telling you is that the economy is slowing, because in the behind the scenes, what causes inflation is money printing, and we've seen extraordinary amounts of money printing since the failures of the banks in the United States.
Yeah.
Again, this is United States versus Canada, so I mean there are some differences there. But I mean, I think if there's banking crisis in the U.S., we're probably going to see something similar here.
Yeah.
My point is, if the economy continues to slow, which we are seeing the economy slowing in the United States specifically, they're going to have no choice but to lower interest rates. If things continue to get more difficult, there's no growth,
Yeah.
homes continue to decline.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to, at some point, try to stimulate that economy to bring reassurance back into the markets.
True. No, and you know what? I think the fact of the stress test that the banks implemented back then actually put us in a strong. It was a smart move on Canada's end. And now again, we're going. Yeah. Okay. So the U.S. raising interest rates, that happened on Silicon Valley with the bank. Now we're in a position where we've paused and we're pausing
Sure.
again. So
Sure.
the banks I'm speaking to are talking about interest rates dropping, probably summertime, starting to decrease. Now all the facts you said, I don't trust. Let's say right now, I'm not a big fan of the media that's pumping out the negativity that what's happening out there. Okay, but when I have boots on the ground and I'm seeing
Sure.
in the past month properties with 10, 15 offers. There was a property we just acquired 2 days ago. It was 1.2. We ended up getting it for 1.4, but there was 5 offers on it. So yes,
That hasn't happened in a while.
that hasn't happened. So
Wow, that's
now we're
awesome.
seeing the $1 million sales.
good
So
to
that's a climb, and it's all driven by the general public's perception of where this world is going. So
Right.
we can speak on the essence of like
Because they're thinking, the Canadian consumer is thinking, okay, the bank's not going to continue to raise interest rates on us. This is probably the highest I'm going to pay on mortgages. Maybe I might even pay lower if I'm in a variable and they start lowering interest rates. That's the thought.
that's the thought.
But the risk is the inflation numbers start coming out in the coming months,
Yeah,
and the inflation numbers start going back up. Instead of coming back down to 3%, all of a sudden they start creeping up. Because these home prices going up in price right now that you're seeing, that's inflation. The stock prices going up, what you're seeing, that's inflation. I mean, the food price, oil is up 15% over the last month. That's inflation. So these are all things that we haven't seen these numbers come out yet, but they're going to start coming out in the future months. So I have a kind of different outlook, because I do think inflation's not going to come down to 3%.
no.
I
Okay.
mean, if it does, it will touch it quickly and then go right back up.
Yeah.
Because you can't control inflation, because the amount of money printing that has occurred over the past several years doesn't just go away, and we just go back to 2 to 3%
I agree.
inflation.
I agree.
This is going to be lasting for years and years to come. This inflation, and I don't think the inflation is going to go away.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
the kind of that happy floating part of inflation is like what, 2%? That's what they say, 2 to
That's
3.
what they always want to bring it down to 2%. Yeah.
Okay, should that be adjusted at this moment in time? Like,
Of course.
yeah, like
You can't try to push the inflation down that low.
Yeah,
This is normal. I mean, if you go back historically, look, interest rates were in that 5 to 7, 8% range always.
okay.
So now we're at that 5, almost getting to 5%, and yet
Yeah.
they want to bring it down. It's like, why? We're in normal. Why do you want to bring the inflation down to 2%? Just leave it in this pocket here. I mean, you can't continue to raise rates, because it's just going to absolutely decimate the economy. And
Yeah.
it's not fair to us. People are going to be losing jobs, losing their homes,
Yeah.
losing their livelihood.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot continue to raise rates. And the U.S. is going to. They're going to continue to raise. And that's going to cause a lot of pressure on the banks, on the consumers, business owners. So you're going to see a lot more pain in the U.S. specifically, because obviously their central bank's doing something a little different than Canada at this point. But again, if the United States keeps raising rates, don't think Canada's just going to sit on their hands and continue to leave rates. But again, it really all depends on the inflation numbers. That's the big thing, right? That's the number one thing I look at when I look at data is
Yeah.
what's happening with the inflation. Now again, they play around with these numbers too, so I don't truly believe every month that their numbers are completely accurate.
That's the headache that we have to deal with, is the
it's
fact that
tough.
we don't know exactly what's happening.
Right. It's
And the
difficult,
information keeps changing. But on an average, obviously as an optimist, I will always find the positive news articles and
For sure.
pump them out there to
For
like
sure.
inspire. I think we dictate, I'd like to say the general public dictates the economy on how we operate, but that also is a responsibility on us to make sure that we aren't getting in over our heads.
Well, that's just it.
As realtors, we're not making our clients spend
Right.
more than they can afford, that things are under control. Even on the bank's end, pre-approving mortgages or doing mortgages, where you know the client can't afford it,
Right.
don't put them in that situation.
Exactly.
Right?
And I'm not saying don't go out there and buy a house. I'm saying, obviously
Be
you are
smart.
getting a 20% discount or 30%
Oh my
discount
God, yeah,
from a
yeah,
few
yeah.
months back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not the worst time to buy a house. I'm not saying that at all.
Of course.
I'm just saying that I do sense that there could be some more pain coming in the rest of 2023. I
Yeah.
don't think we're out of the woods yet because inflation has started to come down. I think there could be some black swan events that could happen that could cause chaos again in the world.
Well, that's a global situation too, right?
Right, of course. Or even just a banking crisis in the U.S. Again, if you see another bank go down in the United States,
Making
we're going to
nervous.
see some
Yeah,
bank
yeah.
runs here as well. So there's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
some pain that we're going to have to deal with when that occurs.
I do agree with you though that like with the credit, the debt in the credit sector, as far as credit card debt for Canadians, is extremely high. People are leveraging it way too much.
Sure.
Even like home equity lines of credit, people leverage that way too much.
Yeah, I agree.
They just have to be wise. You know what I mean? So
That's the problem. People got caught in these habits of kind of like keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with their friends, their neighbors. Everybody's upgrading their homes,
Yeah.
spending more money, and I think it's come to a point where it just got out of hand.
Yeah.
And I think this correction was necessary.
it was.
I really do. I
Yeah.
mean, I think the home prices now make a lot more sense than they did
Totally.
a year ago. I think it just got way ahead of itself.
Yeah.
Due to the interest rates just being low for way too long.
Yeah.
I mean, the central banks are the reason this all happened. This housing bubble, supposedly, if it is a bubble
Yeah.
or not, we'll
Yeah.
find out. But they had the opportunity to raise rates for a decade, and they didn't. They kept them flat. They were near zero forever.
I know.
Housing
Free
market was
money.
booming,
Yeah.
and you're not raising rates into that. Like, how can you not? Now you raise rates as the economy is slowing. But you're killing us.
But being okay, so on the flip side of that, like
Yeah.
we're looking at yes, the correction. You're thinking your prices are where they should be, but based on where I think this city is gonna go,
Sure.
it's gonna be nuts. Because I think one thing I've always found that sometimes Windsorites, we are our toughest critics.
Sure.
I've got a lot of clients outside throughout Canada that look at Windsor and be like, "Man, you guys are about to kill it.
Right.
You guys are kill it." I have an investor out of BC that has an insane amount of investments in Windsor specifically.
Really?
And he is literally saying, "Sean, you guys are too tough on yourselves. You guys have no idea what you have because it's going to pop."
So is that where your optimism is coming from? Because if you look like global news, like high interest rates are slowing home building, but the worst is yet to come. There's a lot of doom and gloom coming even from mainstream media. But your optimism is coming from Windsor with all the growth that's coming here.
100%. Local, like
Yeah.
we were just on a chart, and forgive me, some of the articles I can't pinpoint, but there was just a release that we are one of the top cities for economic growth.
Yes.
That just came out like 2 weeks ago.
Well, it only makes sense.
It makes sense.
You have a bridge coming. maybe-
Already, you're saying right now it's
Yeah.
already.
It's already being announced that we are one of the top selected cities
Yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah.
So put it this way: we are a border city sitting across the water from Detroit, which is booming. Great city. They've turned it around completely.
Big time.
It's great.
Big
I love
time.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Now we're a border city with the biggest international border
Yep.
transportation.
Yes.
Okay. We've got, like you were saying,
New bridge.
new bridge, EV plant, mega hospital,
Yeah.
fulfillment center for Amazon.
Yep. And all the feeder plants.
All the feeders, and then the cool thing is Essex County. It's not all about Windsor. We've got Chatham. We've got in London. You've got the Volkswagen battery plant showing up now. I've got friends that are realtors in London that are saying, "Sean, it's kicking. It's
Really?
kicking."
So is this a result of like the optimism you're seeing and all the offers on houses? Is this a result of the growth coming, you think? Like is Windsor gonna be okay and then maybe the like other parts of Canada, maybe with less growth is not? Like maybe this will get us through bad times. with all this growth.
I agree.
But I think Mike has a different view on it.
Well, no, I'm very
Yeah.
optimistic for
Yeah.
Windsor in general. I think
Yeah.
I think it's going to do way better than most of the cities
Yeah.
in Canada. However, I don't think they're going to escape the worst case scenario. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not saying this is going to happen. There is just a risk.
Just be aware.
Be
I get
aware
you.
that
I get you.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't go too big on a house. Like don't overextend yourself,
Yeah.
right? I mean, this isn't the time to overextend yourself. There's too much
course.
uncertainty in the world right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a temporary thing, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of financial turmoil coming up in all markets. The U.S. dollar dying is a big part of that. The reason I have these theories.
Yeah.
You have all these countries around the world leaving the U.S. dollar for trade. So the U.S. dollar has the risk of losing their reserve currency status. If that were to happen, that is a devastating situation. Because what that would cause is the bond market to collapse. It would cause the interest rates to skyrocket. Because what happens is most U.S. dollars are in the rest of the world. 60 to 70% of all U.S. dollars are outside of the United States. So when the U.S. dollar is no longer reserve currency, what's going to happen is people are going to sell their U.S. dollars. They're going to sell their U.S. treasuries. That's all going to come back to the United States of America. And inflation is going to run wild. So the only way they're going to be able to tame that inflation is by raising rates significantly. And in that environment, what that would cause is total chaos. The bond market would collapse, then the stock market collapse, and then the real estate market collapse. Again, I'm not saying this is going to happen next week. This could be 5 years down the road.
So I was looking into something, 5 years down there. So something I was looking at, I was looking into where, what's the effect of that happening? And the feedback I was getting is like, this is like a 10-year, 20-year process because there's so much injected to the global market with US dollars that the timeline for that is way out there.
Until it's you don't know. That's the that's the unknown, right?
Yeah.
That's what always makes me nervous. I'm kind of a paranoid guy when it comes to the financial world, just because I just
You
feel
see a lot
that
too,
something's
yeah.
coming. Like if they do lose that reserve currency status, that is going to be the biggest financial announcement in the last 100 years. Like this is huge.
And speaking of 100 years, I was also seeing that it's almost on average 100 years to 90 years,
Empires.
the main currency swaps,
Yes.
right?
The
Yes,
empire.
you're right.
is-
Yeah.
You're right, and we're what?
We're like over that by 10 years, 15 years.
So I mean, we're near the end.
Yeah.
Rome
That's
is
my
burning.
point. Like,
Rome is
it
burning.
could be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling we're going to see something major in the next 2 years.
So does it go to the yuan or?
Although that's the unknown. It could be the BRIC nations, right? You have all these countries, Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, and China, that have merged together, and they are back. They're trying to create their own currency, backing it by commodities, backing it by gold, silver, and other commodities like oil. So when they actually announce this currency, and that goes onto the main stage, that's when it's going to be the beginning of the end of the U.S. dollar.
Interesting.
Because now you have 60 countries in line with an application to join the BRICS countries. Okay,
Wow.
you got Saudi Arabia, you got Mexico now as well.
It's crazy.
I mean, everybody's moving to the east,
Yeah.
so the West is going to be left behind, and unfortunately, Canada is part of that mess. So the growth is not going to be in the United States and Canada. The growth is going to be in the eastern countries. So that's the other thing I'm really nervous about, right? So again, I'm not saying this is going to happen in a year from now, but there's a lot more announcements coming out when it comes to BRICS and backing their currency by commodities, and there's just a lot more talk of people leaving the U.S. dollar for other currencies.
Yeah.
So it's scary for me.
So all this unknown stuff that we don't know, how do we sleep better at night? So maybe give advice to the viewers out there is how do you diversify? How do you protect yourself?
Yeah.
From just in case this doom and gloom is coming. Hopefully it's not, but you still
Just
got
to be hedged.
Yeah.
Have a portfolio,
How do
part
we-
of your portfolio
yeah, exactly.
that can hedge against that
Yeah.
chaotic situation.
How do I sleep at night so I don't have to worry if this happens? I'm protected.
I'll let you answer that.
Yeah,
Shan.
Sean, go ahead.
Okay, well, honestly, since day one, I'm going to have to say always real estate.
Sure.
Okay. I've been a big believer in real estate. A lot of the highest wealth holding clients I have, majority of it is real estate.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's either generational
Sure.
or
Right.
they've been pushing it since they were 17 years old.
Sure.
And they've acquired.
Big
So
wealth. Yeah.
the key is I tell clients all the time, like, yes, you're watching the 5-year market go like this. Okay, things are going up and down. But if you back out
Yeah.
20
Yeah.
years,
Oh,
30
yeah.
years, it will give you clear perspective of what actual value of this asset is, that it's just constantly going up. We're just getting caught up in this little mix. Like there's a lot of long-term hold plays that can be done, but in a volatile market, the buy and sell does make sense. That's where you get your flippers, okay? That's where you buy you acquire properties as opportunities and then bring them to market and make a quick $100,000-$200,000.
Sure.
There's opportunities like that
There's
too.
cash flow properties too from real estate, right?
Yeah.
Collecting rent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great.
And there's clients that are buying large apartment buildings in Toronto with cap rates that are very low, but they don't care because appreciation, when the time is right, properties are appreciating constantly, especially in
Yeah.
Toronto too.
For sure.
And even so, there's a lot of opportunity in the real estate sector, but mind you, me personally, I'm in real estate, yes, investing, but I've like to diversify myself. And I was telling you this before we started recording, was in the middle of the night, kids gone to bed, wife's gone to bed, and I'm on my phone doing some work, and I started thinking, watching the news. News always like it's always like a soap opera,
Yeah,
right?
no, for sure.
So I'm analyzing myself and what I've got investment wise and inflation and this and that and what if the market, what if? So I'm like, how am I protected? Cool thing is, years back, sitting with Mike in 2017, started shooting the shit about cryptocurrency. Now, I've experienced some fantastic gains
Sure.
with crypto, and you're aware of that.
Yeah.
And I've transitioned those gains into real estate, which is awesome. But now I have backup again with crypto, so I've got a nice portfolio of crypto that I'm holding tight,
Yep.
and then I've also invested in physical silver.
Nice.
So I know, Mike, you talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
And
Huge
I
fan.
truly believe in it. And the talk between gold or silver is always the conversation.
Of course. Silver, you got the right one. In your
Honestly, I watch it and I'm waiting because I don't think the general public's going to understand when it hits, it's going to hit.
And when it hits, you're not going to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
That's the thing people don't truly understand.
Correct.
You're going to be too late to the game.
Yeah.
Because I'm already waiting 2.5 months to get physical silver.
Isn't
in
that
my
crazy,
store.
right?
I mean,
Wow.
it got as bad as 4 months, but I think it's going to get to the point in the next 12 months that nobody's going to be able to buy physical silver.
True.
I'll be calling my wholesalers and they're going to say, yeah, nice try.
Yeah.
We're out.
So when you're no supply, demand's high, what happens to the price?
It absolutely will explode. And by
Absolutely.
the time you're able to buy some, when inventory finally comes back into the market, the price is going to be tenfold.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you missed it. So I always say it's way better to be 10 years too early than 1 day too late. So I mean, obviously a lot of people have been waiting in this gold silver market for many, many years.
Yeah.
They've been suppressing the price. Everything else is going up in price. Stocks,
Right.
real estate, and crypto, and you see gold and silver not really doing too much. But our days are coming, and I think we're going to see the best of precious metals in the next few years. in my
I
opinion.
agree with that. I agree.
Yeah.
What do you think about like even to the effect of like with all these electric battery plants,
Oh, that's a
everything
big
going
thing.
electric,
Oh yeah.
cobalt,
Yeah.
all of this stuff. Like I was looking at that as well. But here's the thing: going back to like what I believe in for diversifying real estate, cryptocurrency, and precious metals. I personally hate the stock market.
Same.
I hate
I'm
it.
not a stock guy either.
Yeah, it's too volatile. It doesn't make sense to me. I hear good
And
news
it's
and
a
the
Ponzi
stock
scheme in the
drops.
grand scheme of things. It's a derivative bubble that, I mean, you don't actually own your asset either. Where when you own a house or your gold and silver, your
Go kick it,
cryptocurrency,
yeah.
you own it.
Yeah.
Where your stocks, I mean, multiple people own the same stock. I mean, and not too many people really understand that.
Hmm.
But when the derivative bubble pops, you're going to notice you no longer own that
Yeah.
company anymore. So there's a lot of risk. Not to mention, if the banks go down, your stocks are
It's
worthless.
so scary.
I mean, if the economy tanks, your stocks are worthless. There's so many, not to mention we're in a 14-year bubble in stocks. Stocks have gone up for 14 years in a row. I mean, it's due for a major correction. So there's nothing about the stock market that excites me at this point.
So
for sure.
we keep saying correction though. Do you really think there's going to be a correction? Or
In
is
which
this
market?
the new norm? Like
No, there's going to be a correction. There has
Yeah?
to be. They're always, again, you say, look at the grander picture.
Yeah.
Look at the grander picture of all asset classes.
Of course.
I mean, stocks have gone up for 14 years. Bonds have performed amazing for 40 years. because interest rates have come down for over 40 years in a row. This is unheard of. This is the biggest bubble in the history of humanity. And that is the bubble, when that pops, that will completely engulf the entire world. You're going to see a lot of people lose their lives, starvation. It's going to be a resource issue. So this is the one thing that people don't really talk about, bonds. Stocks is the sexy thing that people always like to talk about.
Yeah.
But the bond market is where people really need to pay attention.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see the bond market right now in the United States. The interest rates have been going up and up and up and up over the last month. And it's once they lose control of those interest rates and that bond bubble pops, I mean, it's game over. And that's the scary thing. So there will be a correction. There has to be. It's a 100% guarantee. How big will the correction be? That I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be uglier than anybody can
State of
imagine.
the economy. Where are we heading? Are we in a recession right now?
We're in a
Because
recession without question.
You read and they're like the mainstream
get out of
media
it?
is like finally admitting we're kind of in a recession right now.
Yeah, you're
But
starting
are
to
we
see-
heading to a depression? I know we don't have
Well,
the
we're
crystal ball.
we're
but-
definitely trending that way.
Yeah.
I mean, how are we going to get out of it is the question. Like, what can we do to get out of the situation we're in now?
Yeah.
So what have they done so far? Their main concern was controlling inflation, raising interest rates.
Yes.
They've done that.
Okay.
And you know what? It's actually somewhat worked. The
Worked.
inflation's coming down. But that's temporary, right? We don't
Yeah.
know what's going to happen in 6 months from now. Will the inflation come right back and go even higher than where it was? It really depends on what happens in the world. If the banks go down, are we going to have to print more money? Are we going to have to lower interest rates? If we have to do all this stuff again, I mean, the dollar is going to really get...
How tied is that to the liberals in power right now and their decisions and the choices they're making?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of it. But
Yeah.
they're just making it worse, right?
Just
Obviously.
print.
Print.
Yeah.
And again, I don't really think whoever comes in next is going to be able to fix that inflation issue. Inflation, the pain's it's already happened. The money printing has already occurred.
It's happened,
The
yeah.
interest rates have already been suppressed for too many years. This inflation is not going to just go away because you raised rates by 4% or whatever it was they raised them by. I mean, yeah, can it solve something temporarily? Why people not spending money? Of course.
Yeah.
But who hurts in that environment? We do. We lose our jobs. Our home values go down. Our stocks go down.
Yeah.
So the question is, do we allow the economy to go through a recession / maybe even a depression? Or do we tank the dollar and lower interest rates and print ridiculous amounts of money just to create the illusion that everything is okay? My guess is that's what they're going to do. Like you said, lowering interest rates, trying to stimulate that economy again. I sense that happening.
So what I've been hearing is mild recession from the banks, like
Sure. Yeah,
at the
that's what they're
bank
saying,
meetings
for
that we're
sure.
seeing, we go attend in this area, like we're looking at a mild recession is what we're going through right now. Then they're saying, okay, interest rates, like we were saying, they're calling 3% in summertime.
Sure.
So obviously around summertime, they're going to start dropping interest rates a little bit, which is going to fuel the economy again. Okay. Hopefully people have learned, like when the market took off, we were so cheap. The properties in Windsor were so cheap.
Yeah,
it was
they were.
fire.
They
Like,
were, yeah.
People were coming here. Half our phone calls were from Toronto. How can you blame Torontonians to invest
No.
in
No,
a
you
stock
can't.
that's
Yeah.
low?
We could buy it ourselves. But we
Yeah,
had others.
exactly.
Yeah, we were undervalued. So all of a sudden, we boomed hardcore. So yeah, that correction, we felt it this year, we felt that correction aggressively because we went too high. Now we're sitting at a good stance where it should be a healthy climb. Our prices now do not reflect like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, prices were extremely low. Right now, we are almost on point with like London. We're below London, but we're realistic, which
Yeah.
that's
Sure,
kind
we're
of what you said at
10%
the
below
beginning.
London prices?
Yeah,
So,
like you what you said at the beginning. Like this reset price is good,
Yeah.
but it's not going to pull people by waves here.
No.
Okay.
For sure.
But so I'm gonna fall back on like the whole bank and the amount of pre-approvals happening right now. That's the other positive aspect of things. The amount of pre-approvals happening.
Is this in Canada?
This is in like,
Or-
specifically, let's talk Windsor mainly.
Okay.
Okay. Just because that's where majority of my conversations are happening.
Sure.
So the pre-approvals happening with the bankers that I know are extremely high. That means in a normal market, spring brings a lot of inventory, a lot of property. But now, unlike before, we've got a whole slew of buyers coming to the market at the same time. So they're both going to meet at the thing. It could be the perfect storm.
Right.
And we could be.
Another hot
Maybe-
market
We
like last
definitely
summer,
have a
right?
rally this summer.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Like
and
last summer,
you expect
last
that,
summer
I
was
mean,
insane,
yeah,
right,
expect
for
it.
you.
It was nonstop.
Houses where I live were listing at 700, going for 1.1 million.
I know.
That was,
I know.
I've never seen that ever. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the real estate that much, but I've never seen that in the history of my life.
And that's not natural.
And you're right. That's not natural.
Yeah.
Or good.
That was a tough situation because then after that house sells, I'd have a friend that lives down the street saying, "Dude, that house just sold
Exactly.
for like 1.2. Oh
Yeah.
my God, we need to sell."
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I know you, I know your wife, I know your family.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna
Yeah,
go,
exactly.
man? I'm like, the house that you
That's the
like is
thing.
1.5 now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You sell,
So
but
what's
where
the
do
point?
what do you buy?
Yeah.
So right now, I'm going to ask you. Speaking of like the pricing, so I heard like $600,000 range is hot.
Even like
But like, what about
Even
over
higher.
a million? Over a million, is it seeing some action because it's a high mortgage?
it is,
now.
it is, it is.
Is
So-
that slowed down?
Not
Because
to
I
mention
heard
people
you.
can't get approved for those higher
It's
mortgages
true.
now. That's a big issue.
Yeah,
Now
that's
you're
another
paying
issue.
5% instead of
Yeah,
2%.
but I heard 600 grand. You're getting 13 offers. You're getting 100K over your asking.
in this past, like let's use the past. I can't even look back. So funny thing, when we do comparables, before we used to look 3 months back.
Yeah.
Now we're looking 1 month back. Realistically, we're looking 2 weeks back. We're
Oh,
like,
wow.
it's crazy
Yeah,
because
that's
we're like,
nuts.
because the climate is happening, we have to be very cautious on what's happening in the
Yeah.
area. Now, that up to 700,000, it keeps creeping up. So even 800,000, multiple offers, right? But as the market gets better and consumer confidence climbs, that number keeps climbing. Now, and that's specifically based on the fact that the government, Bank of Canada is saying we're holding interest rates.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now they're building confidence.
For sure.
So a lot of people
Yeah.
are looking at this factor that if I buy now, let's pick a $1.2 million house.
Yeah.
Somebody buys a $1.2 million house. I'm not opposed to that because I'm optimistic for the future. But they buy at 1.2. Normally that house would be 1.4. Okay? Last year, 2 years ago.
Right.
That's where it would be fluttering at. They buy at 1.2, they literally got a $200,000 discount.
Sure.
Okay? But if they're so caught up on the interest rate, they're going to be overspending a little bit. But if they go variable, they can ride the wave down. Okay? That's when the interest rates drop. So they can take advantage of it.
Sure.
You don't want to lock in at a fixed rate of 5%. Lock in for a 5-year term because the rates will drop. And then you're stuck at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always cautious when
I
it comes
get
to this
you.
because there's always these black swan events that we can't control. In
It's
theory,
true.
everything you say is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Because I agree.
Yeah.
I think if things continue, inflation keeps coming down, they don't raise rates, you're gonna see the housing market rebound in a big way.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see a strong summer.
Will we ever see the 80s interest rates come back again?
Like, what
If
was it,
the
12%?
U.S. dollar,
What was that? Like,
if
yeah,
the
that
U.S.
was-
dollar loses its reserve currency status, yes.
You can
You
see
think so?
that. What was the
They're
highest
gonna
in the
have no
80s?
choice.
Yeah.
80s.
I know it sounds crazy. but
I talked about my parents and my grandparents. Like I think there was like 15-20%.
It's
got
credit
over
card
20%.
style, yeah.
It was over
Yeah,
20%.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did they stop that inflation at that point? They raised interest. So the inflation was over 20%. They raised the rate of interest rates to the rate of inflation to
Yeah.
stop it. So here's what's happening now, which is unique. We didn't raise the interest rates to the level of inflation yet. Okay? I mean, I know now the inflation's coming down, and you can argue that now it's in line with what our interest rates were.
Yeah, yeah.
But we never raised them to the level of inflation. So that is what I believe there is some risk here. I think they need to raise a little more to save the dollar. But what we're about to find out, because I believe you're going to start to see the inflation numbers come back up again
Yeah.
as the home markets goes back up. You got oil prices skyrocketing, stocks are going back up, food prices are going to go back up.
So, sorry, just to add to like, in line with what you're saying. So yes, I'm saying that. So for example, there was one property that did have 10 offers on it. But here's the interesting
Just
thing.
recently?
Yeah, literally. But the interesting thing is, and actually 2 of my properties I just sold 2 weeks ago in Tecumseh, they both had multiple offers, okay? But the difference is this. When buyers are coming to the table, we're not seeing those massive gaps of, you know what, give them 150K over.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
conditions.
Yeah, yeah.
No one's a baller no more.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, you know what?
It's tighter.
We have 10 offers, but there's a 50K difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've tightened it up, but here's the thing. On the listing end, now I do not mind if you have a financing condition. I would actually prefer if you had a financing condition.
Really?
I want you to do your homework. I want the deal to close. I don't want you guessing if you can afford this thing because you're
Yeah.
in the heat of the moment.
True, true.
I want you to do your homework. I want to make sure the seller is satisfied on closing, and so does the buyer. And then nobody's saying no ship is sinking,
Yeah.
right? So
So when it comes to real estate, like where are you investing, or where do you see opportunity? Do you stick to the residential rental market? Like what are you involved with? Do you
I'm-
see opportunities in condos coming up, apartment buildings? Like where do you think, or commercial property? Where do you think the most opportunities is right now?
now, in that spirit, we're going to talk Windsor based.
Sure, of
Okay.
course, yeah.
Opportunity wise, based on all the stuff we just talked about. Okay. All the plant, the bridge, the hospital, Amazon, you name it, and all the feeders.
Right.
You got to remember that they're not even built yet. So there's an insane amount of electricians coming to work on that, right?
Sure.
They're not living here. They might not live here, but they're going to rent units.
Yeah, rent
So all of a sudden, that rental market's going to boom.
Apartments.
And it hasn't happened yet
They
because they haven't come. But they're
Right.
coming.
For sure.
And that's just one aspect.
When are they coming?
Oh my God!
Is this like happening soon?
I've been unable to predict,
Okay.
like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think the hospital is supposed to be built.
I know.
Right?
5 years ago.
So, yeah, I think people,
Yeah.
the ambulances are parked there waiting. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But we're on standby, but I know we really even haven't felt even
Yeah.
close to the full extent of
For
what's
sure.
about to come our way.
Yeah, that's exciting.
No,
It is
that's
exciting.
yeah, for sure.
So you look at, okay, rental market, okay, if you own a duplex, you own fourplex,
Yep.
the investors that enjoy smaller properties, duplexes, sixplexes, they're gonna love that market. They are already, because rental rates are up in Windsor.
Yeah.
Big time.
Vacancy rate is low, and they're able to get high numbers on rentals.
I think that trend's going to continue, right?
A
Right.
three bedroom
Good
home,
continue.
a
100%.
3 bedroom home, a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, like a nice, probably 2,000 square feet, is going for 2,500 a month, maybe 3,000.
I know,
right?
yeah, it's crazy.
That's I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
That's like Toronto.
But it
price.
makes sense based off home prices where they are.
It is.
Yeah.
We've never seen more leases than ever before. Like,
That's-
if you look
yeah.
at the board,
I'm gonna rent out my house.
that's it. And go
I
look
hope my wife, my wife.
you can get at least $1,500 for the shed. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Might have to.
But yeah, like that rental market's crazy. Then you've got all this industry coming. So guess what?
Yeah.
Your industrial market, industrial warehouses.
Yeah.
We are at a
Right.
complete
I heard that.
there's not enough.
I heard
We
that.
need more. We need more demand.
It's crazy.
And they're building them. So they're trying to keep up with demand. Now,
Right.
that's one aspect of it. Now you go into the residential market. The demand that's going to be coming in the next little while and over the next 10 years, and that's been a whole discussion, we need to live up to that. We have houses, but we need, I think the number was like 22,000, something astronomical.
Yeah.
We have to ramp up our best production year, we have to times it by 1.5. So we have to get it that much stronger.
Sure.
So the new build.
But are you seeing the new
market,
build? Like, are you seeing a lot of condo buildings, apartment buildings popping up recently, or it's
100%. Prior to the when
private?
when the
When it
boom was
boom,
kicking,
they all
everybody
started-
wanted
Now
condos,
nobody's
right?
nobody's breaking ground.
Correct,
much
correct.
now.
So everything kind of like this past year,
Slowed down.
builders
Yeah.
said, you know what, let's pause.
Sure.
Because there's no point putting a property out there.
Yeah.
It's not the time.
Right.
But in the past month and a half, 2 months,
Starting back.
now we're starting to see builders putting out their product,
Nice.
readjusting price points, and then coming back into the market. And guess what? They're actually starting to sell again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
new
that's good.
builds are moving. So
That's good to hear.
yeah, it's
Yeah, because all I've been
it's happening.
hearing from agents and home builders for the last several months is how it just was at a standstill.
Yeah.
Right? And now the last couple months, I'm hearing more positive stories. Which
Correct,
is nice to
correct.
hear.
And the key is it's not because product. The product is great.
Mhm.
We build a great house in Windsor. We've got a lot of incredible builders in Windsor. We've got so much. Look at how much water we have to offer.
Yeah.
You want
Yes,
to live by the
yeah.
water. Anywhere you go,
It's a
you're by
great
the
place,
water.
Windsor, to
It's
live.
incredible.
Now we just got to fix
Detroit.
our downtown. and that's it.
That's
Yeah.
the big.
They should have started
Because
there a long
I think
time.
it's going to happen anyways. Because if you're getting all this growth,
Yeah,
they're going to put some love downtown. They're definitely.
Yeah.
It's already in the making
it is.
right now. I think we have to get that back to where it was.
It's important.
When I was 25, I could go downtown any night of the week. And you remember back in the day,
Oh my God.
it was lined up every bar.
Yeah.
You would bring a cousin from out of town and you bring them to Windsor.
Oh, they love it.
They were like, they
Love it.
thought that this is the best city in the world.
Oh my God,
They
yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
There was thousands of people just on the streets, never mind the bars packed.
you're 100%.
It was incredible. Will we ever see that?
Oh man,
I don't
hope
think-
so. I hope so.
I think
hope
times
so,
has
for
changed.
real.
Of course, we need it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
doable for sure. I
But
think
social
it's-
media hurt us, and even though I'm a marketer, kids these days are not like we
culture's
used-
changed.
The culture's
Totally changed.
big time
It's
changed.
house parties. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
like
it's
it's-
neighborhood bars.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
different now.
Yeah,
Give you an
it's
idea,
totally
though.
They're not
I-
drinking as much.
Yeah,
I got to give a shout out to Ronaldo
Yeah,
Agostino.
for sure. He's
Yeah.
doing great things down
yeah,
there.
exactly.
Doing great things. He's
yeah.
pumping it. He's using social media to exactly what it's supposed to be used.
Positive.
Get the word out,
Yeah.
spread the word, support the businesses that
Doing
are
great.
coming in. He's doing a killer job. And when I met with him and did a quick video just prior to him getting elected. And we were laughing because we're like, I feel bad for today's generation because they're not able to experience what we went through.
Exactly.
When Windsor Social was at its
Oh,
peak,
man, that was amazing.
downtown was it was just you would
That's
go downtown
exactly
to
what-
feel alive.
So fun.
It was so much
You
fun.
can go to 4
Yeah.
or 5 bars. Each one's packed.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! You had to pick, and any night of the week.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
30 different bars that you could go to
Yeah.
that were all rammed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And everybody was having fun. Yes, you had scuffles, but that was about it.
It was fun.
It was
fun. It's
just
nice
so-
to see what we're seeing now. There is a lot more investment. You got
Yeah.
the Schwabs, you got
Yes.
Maggio.
Yeah.
You got people with money that are actually believing in downtown Windsor, which is really, really nice to
100%.
see.
I think
So-
we need offices more, like corporations to go down there.
Mm-hmm.
And once you see that, kind of like what happened to Detroit.
residential.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be a healthy mix.
Yeah, it's
A
got to be a
mix.
health. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a store in downtown
God.
Windsor in how
Oh
long?
my God.
Absolutely.
We need all the, but I'm not even going to get into the arena. But anyway, go
I
ahead.
know.
Yeah.
Let's not go
yeah,
back there.
But
exactly.
even like the downtown core for all the residents downtown need to embrace the entertainment aspect of it.
For sure.
It's my
It's not a
opinion.
negative, it's a positive.
Yeah, it will fuel the downtown. It is going to take us where we need to be.
Exactly. We need live bands back. We need all that stuff back.
I haven't
that
seen
we
a place
had.
with
Yeah,
live bands in
I know.
Or a piano bar.
Yeah. Yeah. That's.
it's been a while.
I think people. I think if you had that there, I think people would gravitate to that because they haven't seen that in so
Sure.
long.
And then when you're down there, you will see a storefront.
Yeah.
And you're
Yes.
like, oh,
Yes.
what is this?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Nobody now. There's no reason to go downtown. I mean, unless you're going to the casino or the
Yeah.
keg.
You're right.
I mean, obviously there's new places popping up now. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to. It's
Yeah.
just not a for older people like ourselves.
Well, they have to
Separate,
make
right?
it safe. That's the number one.
Well,
You
right.
go downtown now, and you know.
I mean, I've
your
never,
life
I've
is in
never felt
jeopardy.
unsafe downtown. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
defend downtown in that
Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah.
Yes, do you see homeless people? Is there?
I mean, yeah, I mean-
you're going to see that in every downtown in every city.
Yeah.
People looking for trouble, you find it.
exactly.
No,
I've never
exactly.
felt uneasy.
And it's not just Windsor. If you look at all around the U.S., San Francisco,
Oh, we're lucky. We're one of the
LA
best when you compare it to big cities.
L.A. is disgusting.
It's
Like the
brutal.
homeless and all that stuff is like those New York crime. You can't even watch. Chicago,
Chicago's a
like Windsor
But
is doing
Chicago's-
fine in comparison.
Well, that's what I'm my
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I've never felt unsafe
Yeah,
in downtown
yeah.
Windsor.
Yeah,
There's
So
a
I-
lot we can learn from Detroit, though. There's a
Oh,
lot we
oh,
can
Man,
learn.
yeah.
they
They are
rebuild that quickly.
it's
Oh my
beautiful
God,
there.
So quick.
such a family city now.
Yeah.
Incredible.
The skating rink down there.
Yes.
Campus
We just
Martius.
absorb
Campus,
that
that's-
energy.
Oh, I took my
Beautiful down
family
there.
there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a
The little
like,
Christmas villages they have set up. down
Amazing.
there. Like
I
we
mean,
don't
the
do
ice
any-
rink.
We don't do anything.
Yeah.
We have lights that are not even downtown. Like
Yeah.
why?
It's true.
I
It should
just-
be Riverside.
Downtown.
DT's got to get some love. You got to give some love there. You got to bring some stuff there.
Yeah.
Exactly, like you just said, the
Nothing
lights should be
comes from that.
downtown. Once you do that, you know, even there's ways of doing that. You just got to get the love. And I think you said with Ronaldo, you got a guy who's passionate there.
Absolutely.
And that's what you
big
need.
Difference.
Yeah, when you're passionate, and you could tell he is because he's been part of downtown since.
It's been its heart.
Yeah,
Since
exactly.
day one. Yeah.
You'll see. I know it's not going to be done overnight, but
No.
you know, But I think we're in the right path.
You mentioned some of the good, like the great investors that are coming to downtown. That's awesome. That's what we
Huge.
need. That's what we need.
Big
Yeah.
time, big time.
And that will spark national interest as well. As soon as,
Exactly.
we're already on everybody's. I'm telling you, we're
on the
already
radar
on
now.
everybody's.
I believe it.
Yeah, everybody's eyeballing us right now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it just Windsor needs to recognize that we are awesome. We are awesome.
We are, and we should
Yeah.
be even more. I think we will become.
Just walk a
even
little
greater.
prouder because we've got so much coming,
Mm-hmm.
and here's the thing, whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, whether it's this, take Windsor as a company, and I predict I know it's going up, and I think we haven't even come to fruition of being close to where we're
I
going to
agree.
be.
We have a lot of potential.
We have so much potential
The
on
most.
all levels.
I know, I agree.
Yeah, so it's like
It's
that's
exciting.
where the investment mind comes
Sure.
to effect, whether it's downtown or it's new builds, whether it's developers from
Right.
like Toronto.
Just gives
You-
everybody that sense of comfort.
yeah, like try to build an apartment building downtown Toronto or even in the
Yeah,
suburbs.
I know.
You, the numbers are astronomical.
Yeah, exactly.
Reroute yourself
And
to
the
a
risk is so much higher in
huge.
those cities.
The red tape, the bylaws, everything like that. But then if you relocate that same developer to the city of Windsor,
Right.
the cost is less, the demand is there. So you're not playing, your risk factors are much lower.
And that's another thing with all this growth. Is there any land left, or did the big whales already eat it up? Like,
There are whales in this city.
yeah.
There are whales.
Is there opportunity for you should be buying land in Windsor, especially with
Well,
all that stuff.
It
coming?
depends because a lot of people got
Yeah.
caught buying development land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that hasn't really moved yet
Oh,
because
okay,
of the
yeah.
slowdown, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, right now you're probably gonna get a lot better opportunities than you would have a year
Yeah.
ago for sure. So maybe now is the time. It's hard for me to know. I know you're obviously it's confidence.
It is. Now is the time.
Right.
But here's the thing: you're not the only one looking.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
There are. Don't be fooled.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people in the city of Essex. Let's say Essex County that have an insane amount of cash.
Yes.
And they've been waiting.
They've been
They've
waiting.
patient.
Yes,
Patiently
exactly.
for the right
Until
time.
they start moving.
Yes.
Until
Right.
these things start selling, then they're gonna rush in.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
So, are you trying to buy at the bottom? Because the bottom
You'll
never
buy the
shows
bottom, right?
up.
In any asset, you'll never buy the bottom.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
So don't wait.
Yeah,
Buy when you
exactly.
think it's right.
Right.
And if it's a long term play, you need to understand whether it's short term or long term.
right.
And that's kind of a lot of not a lot of new builds coming up. Affordability is a big thing. Like
Right.
there's a lot of builders that are trying to build cathedrals as houses. These $3 million, $4 million, $5 million houses.
Wow.
But then there's the big thing that the high demand is on affordability. So we're talking townhomes, things that people can afford and buy without bank approved. Golden, let's go.
Right.
So I'm watching on all levels that okay, what's a raised ranch bonus room selling for, right? Like you pick your area, LaSalle, Windsor, Lakeshore. The prices jump up and down. Amherstburg was hot as hell.
Right now?
It was,
Oh, it was.
and now it's picking up slowly again. You're seeing transactions happen. So, all the indicators in regards to actual solds, not list price. People get confused with list price. You can ask whatever the hell you want.
Sure.
Right.
Consumers,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
sold number is what counts. So that's what.
Inventory getting better? Are people starting to list their homes?
This is the time.
No.
Yeah.
Inventory. I have a roster of properties prepping to come to market, but we have a whole roster of buyers, unlike before, getting pre-approved.
Right.
So every banker I'm working with, from TD, CIBC, RBC, all of these guys are very optimistic, all the way up the chain to the top, saying, "Get ready,
That's
it's
good.
coming."
So the common denominator with you two is hard assets, right? So real estate, precious metals, cryptocurrency. Am I missing anything?
I mean, I like commodities in general, but
Commodities,
gold,
yeah.
silver being my favorite because they're
Yeah.
in your own possession,
Yeah.
right? I mean, obviously your house as well. I mean, real estate
Yeah.
it's not something I've gotten in over the last 10 years. I wish I did, but I missed that boat in my opinion. I mean, not to say I want to invest in real estate in the future.
Nice.
I'm hoping there's a better
Yeah.
opportunity at some point. And I hope I make some money on my silver and crypto first before I start getting into the real estate market.
Yeah.
But obviously, Sean's been in the real estate market for a long time, and he's seen it pay its dues over the years. And it's made a lot of people wealthy, generational wealth
Yeah.
as well. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
so it's definitely something I want to get into.
Yeah.
I don't beat myself up about missing the last 10 years. I mean, it is what it is. but I am looking forward to getting into the real estate market at some point. But right now, I just believe gold, silver, cryptos have so much more upside in the short term potential.
I feel like
Because real estate's great long term. I mean, but short term, you're not going to get rich on real estate, right? You're not going to make 20 times. Your house price is not going to go up 20 times. Where I see that occurring in silver, for example, or in Bitcoin, for example, but specifically silver, just because it is such a cheap asset right now that is so high in demand. That I mean, the shortages in silver have never been as worse as they are today, and the use cases for silver are growing exponentially. When you got the EVs, you got the solar panels, these growth initiatives, the green initiatives in the United States and Europe are huge. So the silver is going to run out in the very near future. So it's the one reason I'm so passionate about it. But yourself, I mean, tell me what obviously real estate's your favorite.
yeah.
But tell me a little bit about where you see the best investments going forward.
Well, I'll give you a quick thing. I made a video on social media a little while ago.
Okay.
And I was driving, and I always do these videos when I go through
The
a car
car
wash.
wash? I love
Yeah.
those
And
videos.
everybody's like, I do it so often that even like my son is sitting in the back seat.
Where can we see this social media video? Just so
It's
we
on
can-
look up the Hassan Group
Okay.
on Instagram.
Instagram?
And
Okay.
you will see my videos pop up. Now I usually do them as stories.
Okay, we'll
so
put the handle.
I see them all the time.
We'll
Yeah,
put the
we'll put it
handle on here.
they stay alive for
Yeah.
24 hours, and then we move
Okay.
on. But we try to keep it entertaining.
Sure.
Real estate is like become entertainment.
For
We
sure.
are
Yeah.
we are Netflix worthy now.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. So at that point, I had a T-shirt, and I was driving through the car wash, and I was seeing it in the mirror, and I was like, you know what, that's a good. On my T-shirt that I made, it says the best time to buy real estate is always 5 years ago. Okay.
That's good.
That's
And
cool.
I was telling the camera that, you know what? I would tattoo that across my chest, but I think I'm going to make a new T-shirt saying that the best time to buy real estate is, and the most opportunity right now is in 2023.
Wow.
That is really my opinion.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
when I made that video, the market has climbed 20% since then.
Yep.
And honestly, I really believe this is going to be the year of opportunity. Now, mind you, Black Swan event
Sure.
or no, say if it doesn't come
Yeah, for sure.
this next year, I was already guaranteeing next year is going to rock. But it seems like it's coming closer than anticipated.
Nice.
I
Well, that's
truly
good. Let's hope.
believe that real
I hope
estate's
so too,
going to
man.
pop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, buy, get involved at some level.
Right.
Like I have some people trying to rent. Meanwhile, like, listen, if you don't buy now,
Yeah.
it's not going to be affordable next year. Like it's going to go up. And
Yeah.
what you were looking at now is not what you're going to be looking at next year. So you got to be wise. The market, I'm not saying overspend.
Yeah.
But be cautious. Know what's in your piggy bank before you spend it.
And realize it's a long-term investment.
Absolutely.
You're not buying something for 2 years.
Stop treating your house like you're flipping it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the difference. And you know, like I heard about this too, and I was speaking with somebody about actual appreciation on your residential home. The normal back in the day was about 3 to 5% per year.
Sure.
That's normal.
For sure.
Right.
We were going through 30-40% appreciation in 1 year.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Come on.
It's nuts.
That's
Yeah.
not normal. So we got used to
You
the
can't sustain that.
Yes, we got used to the unnormal.
Thank the central banks for that.
There we go. So you can send them like bake them a cake
Yeah.
and send it.
Exactly.
So real estate wise, again, number one, I believe in that aggressively. You said solid,
Hard assets. yeah.
hard assets, 100% agree. I truly believe in crypto, the right crypto, okay, the right coins. I truly believe in it. It's a natural progression. It's going there.
What's your favorite crypto?
I gotta say Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, same.
Both, like those are the core,
Yeah.
right? So I have some wild card ones. I've done very well on some that
Yeah,
you're aware of.
sure.
And here's the thing, I'm a poster child in my own head that it does happen. You can make money in cryptocurrency, cash out, and reinvest the funds.
Take your profits. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
I've
That's
learned
it,
over the
yeah.
years. Take profits when you make them.
Absolutely. So I did
Yeah.
that, and I'm happy about it, and it reaffirmed my confidence in cryptocurrency. And then the silver, totally on point with you.
Awesome.
It doesn't make sense why it's still
So
sitting,
cheap.
and it's a matter of time. And if you look at the charts, what was it 2008?
Yeah, or 2011.
2011.
$50.
You see the chart go like this, and all of a sudden, boom, just takes off.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how are you supposed to buy on an incline
Oh,
like
in
this?
the 70s, when we saw inflation like we do today, silver went from $1.33 to $50. Okay, it went up 41 times. This is why I'm so excited about it. I do think a similar move in silver is happening.
I agree.
To be able to make 40 times your money in less than a decade is generational.
And anyone could get in
Opportunity.
silver because it's affordable right now.
It's very affordable.
What is it at an ounce?
We're now selling over 40 an ounce. Last time we did our last podcast, it was $34.
See?
So
Wow.
yeah, and
So
crypto
it's already
last podcast
jumped.
it was Bitcoin was 21K and now we're at 29. So
Yeah.
this is just
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. So I
Yeah.
mean things are moving fast,
They are.
and yeah, and you're seeing it in the real estate market as well. So again, I mean,
It's picking up.
we're going back into what I believe creating some more inflation with asset prices going up.
Yeah.
So that's always the risk with me, right? I do believe as inflation continues to creep back up, the central banks are going to have no choice to raise rates again. So that's the one thing that makes me nervous about real estate. Not so much short term, but at some point they will have to raise rates again, in my opinion.
And just to speak quickly back to like when we go into offer presentations, okay, and there's 10 offers on a property. I like the conversations I'm hearing from agents right now. They're keeping things controlled, the good ones,
Good.
which is important. That's our job.
How are they doing that?
So put it this way: they're using comparables. They're looking years back to make sure. Like, here's the thing: you don't want to overspend, and that was the problem when we were going into multiple offers before. They're offering 150,
Are
200.
agents pushing their clients to overspend to a certain degree? Yeah.
Some,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Bad
Like,
agents, I would say.
if you want to say the ones that were chasing the commission
Sure.
check.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there's sometimes you shouldn't sell your home.
Right.
Like, if you're good and you're comfortable,
Exactly.
stop treating it like you're flipping your house. And that was kind of the thing that I'm happy because I'm listening to agents say, listen, this is the max we're going to go. And if we can't get it for this price, we walk.
Let it go. That's the
As mu-
that's a normal.
That's
market.
good.
That's the way a market should be.
That's
Yeah.
exactly how it should be.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
maybe, and the good thing is, we went through something we've never gone through before. And I think a lot of people, the good ones, have learned. The bad ones are not selling anything, so they will retire and go back to what they were doing.
Sure.
But the good ones have learned such a valuable lesson on how to navigate that market.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to move forward with that. And I'm happy because we just did a big event. It was awesome. Met a whole bunch of realtors.
How many showed up at how many? Realtors?
223.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys do that
nice.
at?
That was at the Serbian Center.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was really well done, and we spoke to a lot of great realtors and just how to manage the future, and what's
So
that
overall, the
look
sense
like.
was pretty.
Everybody, like, I'll be honest, like in our industry, optimism is a big part
Pretty
of
optimistic?
it. But if you would have asked me 6 months ago,
Yeah.
I would have been maybe not so wired.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
right now, with what I'm seeing in
Good.
front of me and the conversations, our job is to have a lot of conversations.
Right.
And usually in the financial sector with the banks, those conversations have got me to excitement.
Good.
And now I'm spreading that knowledge to my team, and my team is pumping it out to their clients. So in the future, we will be holding seminars at our office with some key people that will be pumping out some fantastic information.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good,
So I'm
good.
looking forward to that.
So what we could get out of this, people could take back is your portfolio, you diversify with hard assets. At the end of the day.
Yeah,
and
it's not that we're saying
Yeah.
only own
Yeah.
own hard assets because obviously we're familiar with it. Like I really
Yeah.
am knowledgeable on metals. He's very knowledgeable on real estate. So obviously
Yeah.
we're going to be more heavily allocated that way.
Yeah.
But I'm telling people don't just be all in on financial instruments.
Agreed.
You cannot
Yeah.
have all of your money in the banking system. What if it goes down? I mean,
Exactly.
what if there's bank runs? What if there's a cyber attack? What if the bank goes bankrupt? There's 100 scenarios that can happen that cause your financial assets to no longer have any
So you
value.
could sleep at night if you have a portfolio with real estate, cryptocurrency, and precious metals, gold and silver, right?
Oh, I mean,
You'll
I
sleep
think
at-
that's your perfect
I think
mix right there.
yeah, exactly. If you have that mix,
And I'm not saying don't own stocks. Sure, if there's
Yeah.
certain companies that you
Yeah.
truly believe
Yeah.
in, go ahead buy them because
Yeah.
if you're holding it for 10 years, I'm sure you'll do fine.
Correct, yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
the main thing, right? People buy investments like it's a 3-month investment. No, I mean, you
That's
got
the
to
problem.
hold. Even in real estate, you
Yeah.
can't just sell in a down market. You got to just hold and wait till it rebounds. Every asset goes in cycles, so you got to just wait for that cycle to go up.
Yeah, even Warren Buffett, he had said the same thing. If he said if I had not sold everything I had sold, I would be a richer man today.
Wow.
So if he would have just held everything,
Yeah.
you would have been richer today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
realistically, sometimes you have to analyze what's your long term play. Even with like clients that
Right.
are buying houses,
Exactly.
Okay, I don't want to spend $20,000 more. I said, listen, how long are you living there for?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we talking 1 year? You're going to call me in 6 months, say I want to sell?
Sell, yeah.
I'm like, then don't buy it. But if you're going to tell me you're going to raise your children here,
Right.
buy your house for your family and for living. Stop thinking investment.
I agree.
Okay?
Yeah.
I agree.
So you want give me $25,000 more. But buy the goddamn house
Yeah.
because it fits your life. You love it. Your
For that
wife
couple
loves it. Your
dollars
kids
a
love it.
month over years, it's irrelevant.
Right.
And I always ask them, okay, 25K. Okay. If I ask you in 10 years or 5 years, was it worth spending 25K 5 years ago
Yeah.
to be in the house of your dreams?
And imagine what 25K is going to be worth in 10 years. It would be nothing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And what kind of blip it is on your monthly payment?
Right.
It's minuscule. So
Exactly.
it's buy for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Totally.
Good advice.
So, Sean, how could people get in touch with you? So your website, the Hassan Group.ca.
That's it.
Okay, so we'll list it below.
Yeah.
And
Social media, you're on Instagram.
Social
Instagram.
media, Instagram, we are the Hassan Group there as well. And then
Okay.
on YouTube, we are the Hassan Group. And we've got an insane amount of properties listed
Awesome.
on there. And we try to be very creative with our walkthroughs and tours and
Your listings are on where? Sorry.
on YouTube.
On YouTube?
as well.
Okay, sweet.
But everything is on our website. And you can register on our website. We do giveaways all the time. So on our website, you can register at thehassangroup.ca.
beautiful.
Instagram, we try to keep it live, keep it entertaining. It's two different audiences,
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Instagram, two different
For sure.
worlds. Facebook, we keep it going too with the Hassan Group. So it's simplistic. If everywhere I go, it's the Hassan Group. So you'll find us TikTok as well. Now, I'm not too savvy in TikTok. I don't know, are you doing any
I just
TikTok?
started. Yeah. I'm not,
Did you?
I'm not very savvy either.
No.
Yeah.
Did you do any crazy reels and stuff?
No, I haven't done anything.
All right.
I'm boring. I'm doom and gloom.
You've got a good social media game now.
Yeah. I got this guy helping me. So now
We got
it's,
Avery too.
It's awesome. I love
Avery's
it.
our
I love it.
Avery Melange.
So some cool things. Sorry,
Yeah.
just some cool stuff's about to happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
in
yeah.
the next 2 months, I'll be pumping the news out there. Just it's a little preemptive to announce, but look for it.
Okay.
Something
News coming.
News
The
coming.
biggest-
Flash. News
The
flash.
Hassan Group.
That is
Big
exciting
news.
You did tell me a little.
You're not
earlier.
gonna break it here in the bar.
No.
Yeah, maybe I
come
come
on.
back.
Yeah, you gotta come
when you're
back.
interviewing somebody else, I kind of pop up here.
You can't. We need breaking news, man.
It's coming.
We'll do it. We'll do it there.
Yeah. Oh, that's even better. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
That's gonna happen, and I'll spread the word on that. But guys, like honestly, I love this whole thing. Like I love
Appreciate
the
it.
opportunity to come here and sit with you. And the good thing is, dude, I've respected you and followed you. We've been friends for a long time.
Yep.
2017, we started talking finances.
Sure.
He gave me some direction. I kind of went with it. And then he came back and he gave me some more direction. And I love it. Everything you've said to me when I actually investigate it absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
So you've been
Appreciate
a big
it.
part of my growth, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and anytime anybody asks me questions, there's only one name I throw at them.
Appreciate
Yeah, it's like,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
And you're like, and in 9 years, you've made an amazing impact on the real estate market in Windsor as well. So,
Dude, thank
I mean,
you.
Congratulations on
Thanks,
that.
brother.
And
I
obviously, you've
appreciate
been a
it.
great friend as well. That's why you're one of my first guests on the podcast.
I appreciate it,
I
bro.
really, really appreciate you
Honored.
coming on and joining.
Thanks, bro.
It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, brother.
So looking
Okay,
forward. We'll
this-
do this again.
Yeah, this is episode 2. Make
Nice.
sure you subscribe. It's going to be on Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, Apple, Amazon, all the major platforms. The Gold Awakening podcast.
We'll
episode
share the
2.
hell out of it too. So,
Appreciate it.
all right, man.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
All right, brother. Okay, guys. Thanks.